This is a piece that gets me very emotional. So, the story is told of a young Zambian, 23-year-old Lemekani Nathan Yorenda, who was on a scholarship to Moscow to study nuclear engineering. So while on studies, he took on a side hustle and became an errand boy for a courier service. And on one of the nights when he was going about his business, he got stopped by the police, and when they searched him, they found drugs. And in spite of his explanations, he was sentenced to 9 years in prison. And while he was serving time, the Russian-Ukraine war had just begun, so he was approached by a private militia group, and these were mercenaries. And the offer to him was to fight on their behalf in exchange for his freedom. So the brother, in desperation, took on the offer, and they put him right on the front line of battle. But he never came back home. Land of our birth, we pledge to thee our love and toil in the years to be, when we are grown and take our place as men and women with our race. Land of our birth, our faith, our pride, for whose dear sakes our fathers died. O motherland, we pledge to thee, head, hearts, and hands through the years to be. So this piece is to this young brother and to the many others who, in search of greener pastures, lose their lives, lose themselves, and suffer unspeakable things. Mama Africa, hear the plea of your sons and daughters. Your children bleed, we no longer dance to the tunes of our rich cultures. Today we leave behind our beautiful lands overflowing with immeasurable resources, chasing after Europe and the American dream. We run into the unsteady arms of our colonial masters, and as dangerous as this may seem, with cups in hand, we know exactly what this might cost us. So when the lights finally go dim and the gods can no longer hear our scream, we stand to become feed for hungry sharks and vultures. We risk our lives through the deserts and the high seas in search of greener pastures, but all that my eyes sees are constant precious. This is the heritage and legacies of our ancestors, how the sons of royalty have become beggars. So can't you feel the ironies of a land blessed with many treasures? Our economies can no longer feed us, so we turn to the embassies in search of visas. But sometimes applying for visa feels like a criminal begging for amnesty. So the deserts and oceans have become better options, even though we know we would definitely run thirsty. But stepping into the minds of a regular youth, sometimes I pray for the colonial masters to just come get me. Because when you stand directly between Pharaoh and the Red Sea, trust me, you can do anything just to set free. The African youth is not lazy, but the grounds upon which we stand are just too hard. The gods must be crazy maybe, but the fact that we are Africans does not make us children of some lesser god. So this general sense of inferiority just makes me sick and sad. We are not asking for governments to put money in our pockets. All we need is enabling environments and conducive markets. For how long will we run on treadmills till we end up in our caskets? We forever go to the river banks with these empty baskets. In the end, we embark on a deadly voyage through the Mediterranean, only for us to get to a distant land and be treated worse than an alien. Yes, you're anybody, Diani Papatiasi. Now, so young yet, you may come the young. In some fact, or that's a new so bit to quite manashasi. I won't bring you now anything. On your door for Biana, was the meme until I said, Jimmy, the way you know my film pen. And Raya, then bounce me some, Charlie. Isn't it a pity, such a pity, how the sons of the mighty have become modern day slaves with no dignity? So in order to survive, we pray to be accepted as refugees. Laying aside our skills, education, expertise, we pour our brains down the drain in order to expect ease. Some achieve the dream, others forever chase after the mirage. Standing over here may look all nice and green, but sometimes it is only a camouflage. Those of us who get disappointed become beggars at the train stations. So where are the African leaders when they can equally invest and empower the African youth to train nations? My heart goes out to my fellow young African. Those who travel billions of miles in search of milk and honey only for them to become victims of human trafficking. Those with no hopes of seeing their families ever again. Our women who have been reduced to sex slaves, and I ask myself, after independence, is this how we moved on to the next stage after all we are blessed with everything the earth gave? We have everything in Africa. Yet we grow up dreaming of Australia, Asia, Europe, and America, the land of the free, the home of the brave. But you see over there, money that don't grow on trees. Sometimes you have to go through the lion's cage. We idolize these nations and we call them great, but we still have a choice to make. To forever migrate our homes and forever lament over the injustices of history, or to stay true to our own and change her story by working hard to the rock and the bone in order to reclaim her lost glory. I know times are hard because I feel the heat of the steam. But I shall continue doing my part because I have a dream. Yes, I have a dream. Not someday, but this day, every African youth will find greener pastures in his or her own country and walk anywhere in the world. Show us how I know we are royalty. I have a dream. Yes, I have a dream. Not someday, but this day, every African youth will walk anywhere in the world, a free man, and begin to enjoy equal rights in any overseas land. I have a dream. Yes, I have a dream. Not someday, but this day, we shall begin to transform our natural abilities and natural resources into economic gain and begin to realize that going to our neighbor's cap in hand is such a big, big shame. For wealth is our portion of the earth, for we are rich beyond the reach of any curse. But this is Africa, the land of our birth. Land of our birth, we pledge to thee our love and toil in the years to be. When we are grown and take our place as men and women with our race. Land of our birth, our faith, our pride, for whose dear sakes our fathers died. O motherland, we pledge to thee, head, hearts, and